for the millionth time in a row. Hopefully this works. I swear to Jesus Christ, we hate you, Zoom. I just want to say that right now. We hate you. But anyways, let's
Don't say that, it'll curse it.
Oh, okay. As you can see, I'm not the only one today, and you see my face. Usually you don't see my face, but we're gonna jump right into it before it starts messing it up again. Hello, hi, welcome, and good evening. Good evening. My gosh, good afternoon, my dear listeners, and welcome to the CSA Cafe, where we talk about controversial topics about everything, anywhere, about anyone. As always, I'm your host, Ash, and today's sip is coming in hot. So grab your favorite drink, book, and get comfy. Now, this is going to be a subdivision called Sabaidee A E. We will get to it when we get to it of explaining what that means, what that is, and what this means for our future. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to a new face. She will definitely tell you who she is and why I never stop talking about her ever. Wow! Yay!
Yay. Well, hi everybody. My name is Elle. I am Ash's other half. Um, I don't know what to say. Um, I live in Florida. Ash lives in Canada. I live in Florida, so
Yes,
um, it's an adventure.
of course.
Um, should we tell about how we met?
Yes, of course. So, as Elle mentioned, we are a long distance relationship. As she just mentioned, she's residing in Florida. I live in Canada. It is hard, and we've only met once in our lifetime, but we will always say we meet again. We will always meet again. But for now, we just gotta make do with visuals from videos, audio, video chats, all that type of jazz. And so oh my gosh, me and my ADHD brain. What was your next topic?
I was saying, what should we tell them how we met?
Oh yes, we should. Yes, guys, this is how I am even off cam. We're part of a lot of communities, and I just lose. But yes, we should just let's bring it back, rewind, and say how we met. Um, I'll start. Before we met in person, which took not too long, but kind of long because it took a year process,
Yeah.
sort of, to talk about it and convince my whole entire family to just let me go. But in our first story, we actually met on Twitter, and
Yeah.
we
Actually, our friendiversary is coming up next week. Yeah, next
oh, is
week.
it next? Yeah,
Yeah, next Wednesday, I think. Yeah, next
April
Wednesday,
April
9th.
9th. Yeah. I always say April 8th, but like I said,
Yeah,
April 8th
it's
and
around there.
9th are kind of we're just fused together. April 8th was Eclipse Day, so I will forever remember that. But yes, we our friend anniversary is coming soon. We became friends first for how long is it now? Two, three, two,
I think
three,
this year's 3 years.
three. So yes,
Is
so we
it?
yeah, so we
Yeah,
first
it is 3 years, I think.
we no running out of time.
No, it's 2. Oh,
No, it's running out of time. It's we only have 10 minutes. Wow, okay, I hate you, Zoom. But okay, but yes, we how can we squeeze this in 10 minutes? Okay. But yes, we met in on Twitter as friends first, and yeah, we met 2, 3 some years ago. So we met
something
as
like that.
friends. Yeah, we met as friends first, and thank it's actually when I
I think it's 2 years. It's 2 years because our 2 year anniversary is at the end of this year. Actual anniversary, right?
yeah, actual anniversary is 2 years. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I
Yeah, whatever.
whatever. It's
It was a
very
while
close.
ago.
It's very closely related, and
2 or 3 years.
we became friends first before officially coming together, and it all
Mhm.
started when I wanted to get into the Thai BL industry. I wanted to know more about it.
No, it was one us.
It was Juanas.
It was one us.
That's her shirt right there. It was Juanas, and then it quickly dived into Thai BL because that's our other interest. But yes, I first said hi to her. And I was like, "Oh, she's I thought she was one of those fandom sites, and I was like, hi, I see that you like Wani, and I like their brother group, and they're called Wanas, and I didn't know that she knew that. I should, but then I didn't, and then she was like, oh yeah, I love Wanas, and then we just started yapping and chatting for the entire that I forever
My
love
one
that
me,
tattoo.
my one me tattoo from
Yeah,
Kenyon, the guitarist, which I need to get the rest of them done.
yeah.
But
She's
and then my one us tattoo.
yeah.
So
I love
I'm a
it.
big fan.
Yeah,
And
she
she
is a big fan.
commented on one of my tweets. I don't even remember what it was. It was about something. You were asking questions or something like that. And then it just kind of like, we just connected and like started asking questions. I think it started on Twitter first, right?
Yes, at
I
Twitter
think
was the
we were like messaging on Twitter like all the time. And then it moved to Line.
yes. Surprisingly, I quickly asked for her line, and then later from because it was more convenient, I guess, because Line's also available on phone as well as desktop. But then, anyways, it went very convenient from Twitter to Line to very, very quickly her personal number.
Yeah. I think we didn't start using WhatsApp until we started dating actually. Because I think we switched from Line. Because I have the line, the messages from
Oh
when
yes,
we,
yes, that
and then we switched to WhatsApp after that.
yes,
So,
because I it's not that I don't use Line, but it's just I'm just like I got used to WhatsApping. So if you WhatsApp
hmm
me, you'll always get my attention. Blame the phone.
yeah, and you're the only one that I have in WhatsApp, except for one of my students who lives in Korea now. So, like, she keeps in touch with me on WhatsApp sometimes. So, but it's just you two.
Yeah. And
Yay!
speaking of, because she said that she's a teacher, you guys just heard she's a teacher. Is she was a teacher? She still is a teacher because her now full-time job is a swimming coach. Yay! And she teaches little
Yay!
children as well
I
as I guess
do.
young adult, well, young tweens. And,
hmm
and so she's amazing at what she
Six
does.
months,
Yeah.
six months through swim team prep is our pretty much our age range.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
more like skill range. Yeah, we're survival swimming program, and I live in Florida. It's a beach town, so um, I was looking for a second job, and I saw this ad on, I think it's Facebook or something like that, and I was like, swim coach? I like swimming. I like kids.
Why
And so
not?
it became my second job while I was still teaching. I was teaching preschool for 7 years, I think. 2-year-olds, 2-year-old preschool. And I, saw this job application for the swim school. I was like, okay, I'm down. I'll try it out. And I went to my interview and they called me later that day and were like, hey, we're interested in hiring you. I was like, perfect. So, and I left, I think about 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, I actually left my teaching job. I quit teaching and decided to do swim coaching full time. So I love it. I love it. I really do.
Yeah. It only took her 30 years to find her dream job. So
hmm
I'm not out of luck, but I'm just like that gives me motivation. Ah. um but yeah, and now that she likes her present job, um she also works alongside her sister who's also a swim coach herself, and so it's a family
I
of
recruited her.
swimmers.
Which is funny because my sister hates kids and hates swimming.
I wish I
Not
could
really.
relate.
Not really. Not
Well,
really.
don't
She's
I
just she's always been uncomfortable around kids
yeah, I can
and
relate with that.
she just doesn't like being wet. So she started off,
Oh.
I think I recruited her, I want to say 6 months after I started. Because
Hmm.
I started in January and she started in the summer. And it was pretty much our boss offering her the job and convincing her to come work for us.
Okay.
That's pretty much what her interview was just like, hey, this is what we do. Come join us.
Please.
Please.
I wonder what she said. She's like, "Ah, can I think about it?"
Well, I think she actually had talked to her best friend about it. Her best friend lives in Ohio.
Hmm.
But she had talked to her best friend about it and they kind of talked it through. It's her first job ever. So, she was like, I mean, it's a good paying job, it's a good thing. And so pretty much her best friend was like, yeah, go for it. You should. So she accepted and she's been there. This summer will be 6 years for her.
Yay!
So
And
since I just passed my 6 years in January.
oh, nice. Look at that. And so with that, because we said that she works in Florida. Um, if I have any Florida listeners, I mean, if anybody is interested in taking her classes, especially if you guys have kids and you're interested, I don't know if you can promote, but like I recommend going to Elle's swim school. It's so much fun. Uh, can you tell the name or no?
Probably. I work at Bitty Bubbles Swim School
Yes, Bitty Bubbles
in
Swim School.
Panama
Remember
City.
that? Yes, Panama City, Florida. So if anybody's interested, wanna keep cool or learn how to swim, itty bitties, go go. Um, I'm like so weary of the time because we have 2 minutes, but we're gonna be splitting this video in half. We're gonna be doing lots of videos. I suck at editing, but we'll figure it out. And you'll be seeing this whenever it's out. But I hope that answers the first question of where we are. Oh well,
We
else
didn't
that
really, I want to say we didn't really finish like how we connected and
oh
like got to
yeah.
each other. We can
Because I was like, wait,
We're
yeah, no.
both disclaimer, we are both ADHD. She's diagnosed. I am not diagnosed.
As
But
you can see.
all of my siblings, well, I don't know about my sister, one of my sisters, but one of my sisters, my brother have it, are diagnosed. And it's hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like so many signs, like after, because my sister's diagnosed, she has taught me so many things, and I've noticed things about myself. I'm like, oh my God, that explains everything.
Right? The
So,
realization is uncanny.
exactly. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is why I have not been able to function for 35 years of my life. So, but yeah, so that's what happens when two ADHD kiddos get together.
Yeah. And and apparently I yap and I'm just like, wait, she just said her side. I didn't even say anything about my side. And it's probably gonna go into the second half of the video because it's gonna shut off in less than 1 minute. But I will say my half of the story of, what I do and all that jazz when it's my turn to do so. Because I didn't want it to sound like one half, so or one sided only. So eh, right on cue too, because she froze. Okay, let's end it here. Part two. Hello and welcome back. So now you've heard Elle's half of the story. Now it's my half of the story, my turn. So she's mentioned her name, where she resides, and what she does, and what we like. And so I can echo back, starting from the beginning, is that yes, we met on Twitter and I was asking her about a K-pop question. And then quickly from that K-pop question, it turned into a Thai BL question because what I was initially doing on Twitter was I was going down a rabbit hole and trying to find more information about why people like Thai BL so much. I didn't know what it was. I knew of our mutual international friend circle that they kept talking about it, but like I never really asked them what it was, but I welcomed them to talk about it. And then our mutual friend Kat, when we figured out our mutual friend circle was of the same people, that's our soulmate power working. And so
It's so funny. Like that whole story is so funny.
it is, yeah, this is another thing we're gonna unfold like another day or something, or maybe we'll come back to it. But like it's hilarious how we're all or both of us are so interconnected so many times, so many in so many spaces and so many uh common things. Like it's nuts. And so with our common friend, her name's Kat, and she was the one, along with Elle, that was in this fandom for quite a while before I came in because I had a lot of questions. I'm like, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Because I only knew of the famous ones, but I wanted to dive deeper into said rabbit hole interest and to figure out more stuff. So I'm just like, well, might as well since I'm already researching. She's told me her top favorite being First and Cow. And I was like, oh, tell me more. Who are they? What are their works? What should I focus on? What should I start as a first watch to kind of ease myself into the fandom? And of course, we would have a lot of people who would give the wrong shows or quote unquote wrong shows because they'll give the loyal fans version one, and then I just want like a fluffy one, not too much eggs, not too much anything. It's just something to enjoy. And so I think it was you or it was a couple of others that recommended me to watch Moonlight Chicken first as my first exposure to Earthmates.
I don't remember.
It might not be you that told me, but somebody mentioned. I think it was. Oh no, maybe it was Kat herself. Yeah, she's like, start with Moonlight Chicken. But then, anyways, Moonlight Chicken had everybody that I was talking about. It had her favorites. It had my favorites at the time because I only knew them. So I was like, okay, this is pretty good. There's like four to six couples of focus in that one show, and it was pretty easy story to digest and understand. And I was like, that forever, that first BL exposure forever is engraved in my brain because I didn't know it was a lot to do with my own culture. It had a iconic Chinese intro theme song redone by the boys, and I was like, oh my God, this is a great choice. Okay, so fast forward, as I was mentioning, it is very uncanny that we came from the same mutual international friends pool.
Yeah, and it's actually crazy. Like even how I met Trina. That's how I know her. That's
Yes,
how I've always
she
known her.
calls her Trina, I call her Cat. And then you just
That's how she introduced herself to me. So,
yes.
um, and it's crazy how I met her because we had connected, like before we became friends, we had connected on Amino. I don't know if you've ever used Amino.
I loved Amino. I bet
Yeah.
all my K-pop fan listeners, you guys know what Amino is.
Like my sister had me download Amino and like I was like all over Amino and I was all over BL Amino. And this was when Until We Meet Again was coming out. It hadn't
Oh,
I
I did
don't
not
think
know
it had
that.
aired yet. Or it was starting to air or something like that. And I had read the
Hmm.
novel. Like I read the novel. So
Yes.
I knew like some more of like the more details. And I was like, there's one line at the end of the novel, um, where I'm not gonna spoil like really anything from it, but it's where Dean says like in the novel, he's like, please don't take him away from me. Please, I'm begging you, don't take him away from me. And if you know the story, if you've listened to it or if you watched it or read the novel, like you know what happens, like what Dean is talking about when he says, please don't take him from me."
I'm crying just
Oh,
from listening to you to read. So for my listeners out there, if you're unfamiliar with what the what manga we're talking about, which made a Thai BL adaptation drama about it, as Elle said, we don't want to spoil it if you want to give it a try. All I can put out there right now is when I watched it, I had my waterworks, but I actually naturally dubbed it the Thai version of Romeo and Juliet.
kind of, kind
But
of. I say
yes,
it's an original story, so it didn't come from a manga. It came from like an actual novel. But then they made a graphic novel after the fact, so based on the series, which I have like the first one or two volumes. I
I
think I have
believe
one.
so.
I don't remember.
I think you said you were gonna get a third, or you maybe
I don't remember.
you
I
might.
have
I
a
don't remember.
couple.
Yeah, she has
I
a
have a
lot
couple.
of
Anyway,
books.
but that line, when I read the novel, that line had me in tears. Like I love that line. And I was like, I swear, if director New does not add that line into this series, I'm going to riot. And like I had posted that. We were discussing that on Amino and like one of the chats about Until We Meet Again. And I was like, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but if anybody wants to know the line, you can DM me. And Trina was one of the ones who DM'd me. She's like, what line are you talking about? I was like, oh, here it is. And this is it. And she was like, oh, okay. And like, and we kind of talked a little bit on there. And I think she had shared me some of like her stories that she had written, because I'm a writer too. She's a writer too. And we kind of connected with that. And then I don't even know, I don't even know how long ago after that it was. I kind of stopped using amino. But then COVID happened,
Mm.
and I, started watching, all of our favorite people, all of our favorite actors started using Twitch. Everybody started using Twitch. And so like all of our actors, like one in specific, I'm not going to mention who it was because I don't care for him very much anymore.
Oh,
He kind of
I know
irks
where.
me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like
You don't need to say
you don't
anything because I
know.
know there's some people that really like him and like
Yes.
he's doing really good right now, but I'm just
So
kind of like, yeah, the experience we had like as part of his stream, we were just kind of like, okay, whatever. Like
yeah,
hot shot.
I'm not gonna say much, and I think this was before I met you, or
Oh yeah, it was because it was during
yeah,
COVID.
yeah. So it was
And
before I met you. I think Pat also mentioned a little bit, but again, this was before I got into the fandom. Now that I got into the fandom, I'm just like everything now makes sense. So for all my listeners out there who are fans, I even with this little sentiment, I think you understand whom we're referring to. But as Elle said, there
yeah,
are
we'll see.
people
There are
that
people that really like him still and
yeah.
like
So we're gonna just
sorry.
like just leave the name out and because ultimately, even though the two girls here they had a bad experience with him, Pat did mention he I guess he really does truly care about the fans at times, but it's just
Yeah.
we
And
they have a bad experience burned into their brains.
it's not really anything against him.
Yeah.
Really, it was like his toxic fans that really
Mm.
that gave a bad taste in our mouth and like I don't know. But there was like a group, me and a group, like there's like a group of us that really clicked during those streams. And so like we had our own private chats and everything. I only talk to a couple of them like regularly anymore, which is sad because I miss them.
Oh.
I do. They were, I mean, we talked, we literally would stay online video calls for hours and like some of us would be asleep because we were like all over the world. We had some from London, some from Singapore, some from there's several of us from here and like some from Malaysia. And so like we were literally like on video call for hours and some of us would be asleep and we'd just be chit chat and we'd be just all kinds of fun. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I miss them. But anyway, I digress. That's how I realized, later on, like there's this one girl, like her username, I was like, man, that's really familiar. And then it clicked on me. It was the same girl I had met on Amino. She had the same username. And this was years before. Because I want to say like Amino was probably like late 2018, like mid 2018, 28, like 2019, something
Around
around there.
there,
It's like
yeah.
2018, 19 was when I did Amino, because that's when I started getting into K-pop and BL.
Mm.
And so, oh, excuse me, I kind of burped a little bit. I really hope that nobody heard that in the mic.
It's okay. No, I didn't. So
Gross.
they didn't.
Okay, I shouldn't have even said anything then. um, it was like mid talk. Anyway, so in COVID, it was like 2020. So this was like, a year or two later, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know you. We met before.
Mm.
And so, and I kind of, and she lives up north where a lot of my family lives, just a couple hours away from my family. And so we've actually met in person a couple of times and hung out. So, and you and me met her together over the summer. Cat.
Oh, look at I blank out whenever she starts talking because all I'm just staring is her beautiful face. Look, this is who your host is, guys.
Stop.
I'm just like I'm whipped for my wife. Yes, I called her my wife, and I still call her my wife. Look, she's so embarrassed now, but she is.
Sorry, that was probably really loud on my mic. Okay.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of how me and Katrina met, and then
Mm,
you and Trina met. Um,
got seven.
yeah, you guys are got seven
Yeah.
fans. That's how you
Any
connected.
yeah, any got seven fans, please say
And
hi
didn't
in the chat.
didn't you go to a concert with her over here, something like that, Chicago or something like that?
So I all of the times other than when I met you at her home, it all both times were still in the got seven concerts. The first
Yeah.
time was uh the Eyes on You tour. She came over here. I think that time she brought another friend with her, which her name's Andy, and she now permanently resides in Hawaii, but she was also a Michigan rep, so yay. Shout out to Michigan, by the way. And then the second time she came back was the oh my God, thinking about it, it was the last tour that they did together until they split to do solo stuff, which was back in 2019. Well, okay, COVID. Yeah, I thought it was 2021, but it's 2019, literally a year later,
Yeah.
is the spinning top tour that they did, and Katrina came back to Toronto and we met up again, had dinner, and then just walked to the concert hall together, much like we did in the Eyes on You tour. And so, um, but the first tour back in it was 2018. Yes, 2018 tour, the first one. She came here with her daughter, which for privacy purposes, we will not disclose her name. But she came here with her daughter, and that's how I met actually the two of them instead of the one of them. And then when she came back, Katrina just came back by herself, and obviously because of we bought our tickets ourselves, we didn't sit together or anything, but we met afterwards. But that's how I met Kat. And because Kat resides in Michigan, uh, she's the closest to me, but not really, because we're all three of us are separated by a border, which is really sad. But
Mm.
we are very, very closely knit together. Um, I call Kat my mom because she really is. I still call her my mom, and we talk every day. We all three of us do. They also talk to another friend, Nikki, often. I know of
Mhm.
her, but like I've never met her or anything. But she apparently dubs me as the loud girl on Twitter.
I forgot about that. I was like, is she writing all caps?
That's how you know your host is excited is when she writes in all caps. It's not necessarily that I'm yelling at you guys. It's just that's how excited I am. That's how I show my excitement. So yeah, don't be alarmed if I type caps to you. Because if I'm really upset, I'll do the opposite. I'll write it all in lowercase. That's how you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how we met and connect. And I think it was after we had started talking a lot, like on Twitter and I think it started like a lot on Twitter and Line.
Mm.
And I was like, and I realized like you were mutual friends with her, and I was like, and I went to Trina and I was like, hey, I think I know your friend. Ah, she goes, oh yeah, 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 yeah. And told me about how you guys met and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, we've been chilling. And then like when I when I announced to her that we were
Oh,
dating, she was like,
she gave me
Ash,
her
my
yeah.
Ash.
That was so
It's
cute.
so funny.
Oh,
She's
and
like, oh my gosh.
yeah, because she went fair, guys. She went feral when she found out the two of her besties, aka me and Elle, were dating each other. She was like bouncing off the walls, okay? And I was like, the fact that she dubs me my Ash, I was like, God, I'm special to her.
It was
She never
sweet.
told me this stuff, and I was like, oh my God. So we're all bouncing off the walls. This was so fun. But that,
Yeah.
yeah. And until then, um, marking 2 years in December 2025.
Yeah.
That's how we came together. And speaking of
Yeah.
how we came together, now is the time you can reveal the line chat.
The line chat. Oh goodness.
It was like
Uh,
it was not your typical confession, but it was a very
it
interesting
was it
one.
was me ranting
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much. Because I
Yes.
had been talking to somebody. I had already been talking to somebody. and that somebody was the person responsible for my bi enlightenment.
We will
So
dive deeper into that topic another day, but
later on, yes.
for
But
now,
I had gotten kind of frustrated because like I was the only one initiating anything.
mm,
She lives in Thailand, so I I was like I kind of gave it some grace because of the time difference and everything, but it still felt it was kind of very one-sided. And so I was like kind of frustrated like that. But then you were talking to me like every day and we connected about everything and talked about everything, and then it sort of became this thing where I was like, it's kind of, I kind of wish that we had this more connection. Like me and her had this more connection because I don't like she doesn't talk to me. And so it's just kind of frustrating. And then, you know, and I was like, but with you, it's like so easy. And I kind of maybe kind of might have kind of feelings.
so
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, it was a very heartfelt reveal as well as a very heartfelt confession because it'll forever burn in my mind how unique it was. But like let's before I get to that, let's rewind back to say, yeah, with what happened. Again, like I said, we're gonna dive deeper into that topic another day. But she was talking to someone and they were also overseas. We were also overseas, but the time difference was what of course drives everybody nuts because the time difference between Thailand and the US and Canada is like
12
24
hours.
hour 24 hour like
12
it,
hours.
yeah, like when it's daytime here, it's nighttime over there and vice versa. So it's very hard. And she showed me their picture and everything, and so I was aware. So till this day, sort of, kinda, it's still up in the air as to like, does she still talk to you? Do they are they friends? Like, because nothing was solidified, which is very weird. But then it was cold turkey. Like they stopped
Yeah.
talking. Like I like
Y-
what? So was everything? It kind of also made me think, was Elle catfished? Because then it reminded so much of my case when I was a little kid and this dude catfished me uh online too, and he lied about his name. That's all I remember. Everything else was legit, but for some odd reason he lied about his age. But then when it was little old me, I was like not having it and I was really upset.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was catfish. Like we had video called. We had video chatted several times.
Okay.
And and we messaged all the time, and then it was just like I think the last time I heard from her was like Christmas 2 years ago, I think.
I mean, yeah. I mean that
23.
that's see, this is even more of a mystery. Listeners, help us out here. They've met, they video called, so she's real, but like who in the right mind just cuts off culture? I don't know. Like, is she like a was she a full time? I don't know if you told me, but like, was she a worker? Is she in school? Because then that would be the only explanation, maybe, as to why. But
Yeah, no, she was working. She's a tour guide.
maybe that's why. Busy with
So, and I
travel
don't know.
stress. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but it was just
Yeah.
like it was like I was the one that was always initiating. Like I
Mm,
was always the first one to message.
yeah. I
And it
could.
was just like I, wished her happy birthday.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. It was. I
I don't
guess
know.
it was not really reciprocating. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
anyways.
it could have been like a little bit of the language barrier and stuff, which I mean her English was amazing.
Mm.
Um, but I don't know, it just kind of dropped off. And I kind of got tired of being the only one to initiate, so I was the one that stopped initiating and she never responded again.
And usually the actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. So
That's the
I don't know.
reality. Yeah.
I don't know.
But
It is what it is.
yeah.
But you know what? I'm tempted to just message her and see how she's doing after the earthquakes because I haven't heard from her.
Oh yes.
So
My
I'm tempted to.
our condolences
Hmm.
to Thailand and everywhere around the world that's been affected. Our heart is
My
with you
dad,
guys.
my dad yesterday came out. He was like, "Have you checked on your boy bands recently?" I was like, "He's like, yeah, there's an earthquake in Thailand." I was like, "Daddy, let me hold your hand when I tell you this."
I love their family. They're just as weird and quirky as their daughter, but I love it. Woo! Just like the
ADHD.
SpongeBob ADHD.
Yep. No, I think that comes from my mom's side of the family. I think there's some autism on my dad's side of the family.
Right? It's always the
I
man.
I think he's a little bit on the spectrum, suspiciously. That's
Mm,
what I feel. But it's
right?
just some of the things, like some of his mannerisms, I'm like, I think he's high functioning.
I think he's high functioning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know. We just
our brain. That's okay.
yeah. But yes, let's bring it back. So we were talking about yes, okay, so
Oh yeah.
the confession. So it started off from a rant ish,
Yeah.
and then she said that it's all because of her. She had a bi awakening. So speaking on that topic, just to put it out there, we both belong to the LGBTQ community. Hello, hello, hello,
Well,
hi,
I
my
mean,
fellow
obviously,
right, looking the
I mean, we're
right,
we're together, so
right, and so
gonna obviously have to be part of the community.
yes,
Anyway,
Uh,
before we were together, we
but
were.
yes, before we were together, we had quite the. It didn't dawn on me until later, but then everything clicked when I started going way to the past. And I'm just like, oh my God, this all made sense. So
Same.
yeah. For all of my LGBTQ followers, listeners all around the world, hello, hi. Just wanted to let you know that this is going to be a very, very safe space for you to share things and talk amongst the fandom. Um, fandom. Well, we don't have a fandom name yet, but
My realization was very late in life. I think I was in my 30s. 30, I don't know.
I was close to
It was
yeah.
when I started talking to this girl.
Mm.
And the which I didn't know she was a girl until we video chatted.
Right.
But that's another story for another time.
Yes.
When we dive into like the more in-depth conversations.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was like later, it was, in my 30s
I think I was
that I realized.
not too closely I was not too far behind from you,
Hmm.
even though I started playing with Barbies and made two Barbies kiss, but like I didn't make the connection until yeah, close to what, 20 24 or 6
Yeah. See,
average.
I grew up very religious, and so any thoughts or anything like that was pushed aside, like forced aside. And
Mm.
it was as like, like the woman crush.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So it was like, it's harmless little things. So I just never accepted any of it until I started actually really more watching more BL, and like with it being more um how do I phrase it? More open. That's not what I'm looking for. More prominent in my life. It's not even the word. I don't even know what I'm
More
trying to say.
highlighted?
No, it's more like, I don't want to say accepted or acceptable. More, the word is like right there.
I know.
Like more mainstream, but not quite mainstream, but like more, I don't even know. But it was more like that it wasn't like a weird thing. Like it wasn't a niche thing. It was more of a, um, not continuous. That's not even the right word either. I can't even think of the right word. But it was more of a uh thing in my life, and it was more prominent. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Prominent.
Probably. Like
It was just
basically
more like prominent in my life. It was something that wasn't. like sorry, my ADHD keeps seeing my camera and it's like shaking and I'm like, I'm really sorry. Especially when I laugh. I have it sitting on the desk in my lap. So,
Ah,
anyway, but with it being more prominent, I feel like prominent is probably close enough. Closest to the right word.
yeah.
But with it just being like more prominent in my life, like seeing
Like you
natural is
became
the
more
word?
comfortable with it.
Naturalized?
Nat
More naturalized? I think that's
comfortable.
kind of like what I'm thinking of, like naturalized, like with it not being like a taboo thing, like in my
Mm.
at least in my private life, because at this point, like I was still like a
Normalized.
normalized. That's the word. That's the word. You got it. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, more normalized because at least in my private life, because at this point I was still, the very good church girl.
Mm.
And I would sit there and I would message you and be like, "Is God gonna smite me because I'm sitting in church reading tweets from my BL boys?" Or no, someone was like, "Is God gonna smite me because I'm sitting in church writing a BL fanfic?" Like,
Mm. Mm.
so, and I was like, and I knew like deep down, like even though I joked about it, I was like, I know that's not true. Like he's not gonna smite me for that. And I think that was like one of the biggest struggles. It's still one of the biggest struggles for me is trying to come to terms with, what I've been taught growing up and like what my life is now. And we'll discuss that in like deeper detail
Yeah.
more so. But, and that's kind of like how I was like when it became more normalized for me was when I could finally accept, maybe I've been like this whole time. Speaking of like past things. So like things that has happened in my past, like mannerisms that I've had. I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't just a woman crush. Like maybe it wasn't just like, you know, oh, she's really cute. It's like a woman crush. Haha, she's my wife. It might actually been like, maybe it had deep down feelings. So, but yeah, now
A-
that it was like more normalized, I was like, okay, so maybe this isn't so weird. But
Again,
that's still something I'm
yeah.
struggling with too, is like the faith part as well.
Mm.
Because I haven't lost my faith. Like I'm still a believer. It's just changed. And I feel like that this is going like way too deep because we're not doing this topic right now, but I'm just gonna say like I was taught that like the God I know that I was taught growing up loves everybody. And now, people are saying, "Oh no, he doesn't love these people. He only loves these people." And I'm like, "No, no, no. That's not what you taught me in church. That's not what you taught me in church." So, I'm grateful. I've said this before. I'm grateful. I feel like the firm foundation that I had growing up in church was um a key part of me not losing my faith because like I have that firm foundation of my faith, but it also gave me the knowledge to be like, okay, I know this is not right because that's not what my faith tells me. So,
Mhm.
well, we'll dive into that when we get more into like religious things and stuff like that.
Yes. So if you ever notice that I let her yap because what's coming out in the table is we're throwing all the Skittles right out of our
Wow,
future
Skittles.
collabs of future videos. But like it's good
We
to
have a
have
list.
yeah, it's good to have everyone know, what we're gonna be talking about and how the vibe of the two of us will be like when we come together. I love how we went everywhere and we still didn't tell them how the confession happened. So long
Was it
story
over a voice message?
I think that it
Kind
was a
of.
little
Is it
bit
a
of
bit of both?
a little bit of voice message, a little bit of that iconic. You screenshotted it. That iconic little should we try? And then basically, long story short, before again we get kicked out, God knows when, is going back to our BL little hypervexation. You'll get to know in time that the two of us are like the female version of First and Cap. Why I say this is because our first ever from the confession, we were I was I mean, I think it was me. We I took a line from one of Kaltong's songs and put it out there and be like, should we try
Yeah,
this? Or like, is this a
let's try.
yes? And
I
then
think
yeah,
I think we had also confirmed early on, like before our relationship, like we confirmed like we were soulmates. Like
that
we're
is
gonna be friends no
true.
matter what. Like that was another big factor of why we're like, hey, let's just try this.
Right?
Because we're like, if it doesn't work, we'll still be friends. We'll just be like, oh haha, you know, we
Right?
tried it, didn't work. Like um um from Only Friends, Sand and
Right.
oh shit. No,
No.
Mark's character.
Sorry. Uh oh shit.
What was
I don't remember. I don't remember. Uh
Mark's character? Oh my God, because he
oh,
was like the third couple.
I know, and Only Friends came out only like what 2023, and we forgot the characters' names already.
Oh my gosh, because it was Boston and
Oh my! You know what was going in my brain? I was gonna say his high school frenemy character.
oh no, it's not I feel like it's a
Oh my gosh! You know what? Let me hold on.
that's why I'm looking it up.
Oh no, right?
It's gonna drive me absolutely bonkers. It was Mark's character.
Um, Nick. Oh my gosh, Nick.
Nick, that's who it was. Nick. But this scene, the iconic scene where they're sitting in where not bleh, where Sand and Nick are sitting in the trailer, they're like in the camping trip, and they're like and they kiss and they're like we're so stupid. Some of the things. I feel like that was kind of like our relationship. Like I knew like even if it became something like that, we're like, no, we're just friends. It's okay. We're just weird. That's
Yeah.
how I felt. And so that's another thing. We're like, well, let's just try. So far, so good.
I mean, it's been 1 year, going on two, so this let's try thing has been working
It's
for.
working.
It's working. So, Satu. So yeah. So and as I was saying, it's like we're literally the female version of First and Cow because for those diehard BL fans of First and Cow, their first I would also like to dub it their first ever video chat. They were playing online and doing filters at the back, and all they're doing was just staring at each other's faces, laughing, playing with the filters, and just blushing. That's
that
essentially what
was
happened
that
for
was our
us.
first video call.
Yeah, and she was in the
That
kitchen
was
making
before we
spaghetti,
were. I would say that was before we were even dating. That was when we were just friends.
right? And because
So isn't that
we
crazy?
wanted to know what each other looked like, and like just to get used to, are they real? And then bada bing, bada boom, we are real. So I was not catfished, and she was in the kitchen. I was, I think, down here. It was hilarious. She was making spaghetti. I think you said that you made too much. You
Yep.
didn't know that you were making too much, and you're just like, oh crap.
That's an ADHD thing, actually. I feel like actually I don't know. I haven't really done any research. But like measurement awareness, I feel like is like a huge ADHD thing because I
Oh my
cannot.
god.
I always either overmake or undermake. Like I can never make like just enough. It's so
Right?
bad.
That's like
I
a
once I once made like I want to say like 8 cups of rice.
I think
I
I
tried to
remember
fit it
that.
I tried to fit it all in one pan, and then, like, when I got to, like, my 16 cups of water, I was like, "Oh, shit." So I was like, "I'm gonna have to transfer some of this to another pan because I made too much." So now I never make more than 4 cups of rice because 'cause I'm like, "You know what? We're gonna have rice for days anyway. I don't need that much rice for days."
And then I'm probably like yelling at her, kind of like mentally be like, does anybody want a packet for lunch?
Mm. It's like it's gonna be interesting, like, our dynamic once we actually start living together.
Hmm.
Because I'm waiting for you to chastise me on how I make rice. Because I am a connoisseur of Asian food. I love Asian food, but I can't
She
cook Asian
does.
food.
She does. I can't cook for my life. I only know a few dishes from my mom, thankfully. But like, if she likes Asian food, I'm
Give me the
Asian.
recipe. I will make it. I'll try. I actually love baking or cooking. I hate baking. I love
Who
cooking.
likes baking? Anybody like baking? We don't like baking.
Some people do. I mean, some people make a profession out of it, but like I can't. I think it's probably part of the ADHD thing.
I think it's
Maybe.
because everything is like you use measure like what when you cook, you can eyeball it more, but baking you can't. I think that's what you told me.
Yes. Yes.
Baking
That's why
baking
I do
needs
it because
yeah.
baking, you can like if you can for cooking, like you can save a dish.
Mm,
Usually you can save a dish if you mess something up. If you mess up a measurement or something on baking, your whole pastry is ruined, like
the whole
it's
batch is
dead.
gone. Yeah.
Whole batch is dead. So that's why I like cooking better. And it's just easier. I get kind of frustrated. I always
I
say I
know,
have the
right?
patience. I always say that I have the patience of wet rice paper. That is how thin my patience is. Not even dry rice paper. Wet rice paper is the
I
thickness of
know.
my patience.
It's like so I any Vietnamese listeners, you know what we're talking about. I get frustrated about that thing too, and it's just I just want to
hmm
eat.
So
So
that is my patience of just in my daily life. But um I love cooking, especially Asian food. But I've always learned like I don't know how I don't want to be stereotypical. This makes me sound really, really like
oh,
racist. But I'm like, I'm not. But I want to know like the how do Asians make rice? Like how do they make the perfect rice?
it's a combination of what type of rice you buy, as well as you mentioned, the right cups of water to the right cups of rice.
I actually like I have a cheat sheet that I saved on my phone like years ago. And it's always like it's never saved like actually on my phone. It's like in my Google Photos. So I just go back, I just search rice in my Google Photos and it pops up, but it has like a list of like long grain rice, short grain rice, brown rice, and like how much like your rice to water ratio. And then the next slide is your time to cook it. So, which we usually use long grain is what we usually have. And so like the rest, like it says, I think it's like 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water. Or no, sorry, 1-to-2 ratio. I was wrong. 1-to-2. So 1-to-2 ratio of rice to water for 18 minutes. And that has actually served me very well. My rice never sticks to the bottom of the pan unless I make too much of it. Which that's what happened when I did like that ultra like
Hello and welcome back. We've been
we
cut
were
off.
talking about rice.
Yeah, and we Zoom only was giving us a 40-minute limit, and then I was gonna keep on pressing record to do more videos, and then we're just gonna fuse it into one video together. But then it was giving me, please start your next meeting in 9 minutes. So I ended up using it as a washroom break. And then when I came back,
We
we figured out the
we
Discord fiasco.
tried. Yeah, we tried using Discord first
Yeah.
because I'm more familiar with Discord. I use it a lot.
Yes.
Um, but I could not figure out why I couldn't hear Ash. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like I can hear everything else. I just realized I had the entire site muted.
So it took us
So
from,
it's my fault.
but then again, it's hey, this is how we resolve conflict. Just we can try and try again, figure out what's going on. Is it really us or is it the site or what's going on? Luckily, we didn't get mad
Yep.
at each other, and so next time you'll meet us on Discord now that we know what the hell's happening.
Yes. Maybe.
But
We'll
for
try.
yes, but for now, with the constraint of time, we decided to group everything and
Wrap this up.
wrap this up, group everything in Zoom, edit this entire thing, and then next time you'll see us in Discord with no time limit. So that's a plus for us because then you don't have to keep on just going like, oh, they're cut off. Oh, they're cut off. Oh, they're cut off. So
Hopefully we can get it all in one go.
yes. And so for today's little video, I don't know when this is gonna go up because I don't know when we're gonna edit it. and otherwise. But uh we it was a roller coaster ride of ADHD,
ADHD, yep.
neurodivergent, just mess. And so we glossed over a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things. We talked a lot about in depth about things. So if you caught any of anything in this podcast and you want to know more of it and have us bring our attention back to a couple topics, please feel free to leave it in the comments. This is how we just lose track. Look, she sends me a lot of things, okay? Like anywhere, everywhere, all around the world has Stray Kids. And I can never find it back. It's the
Yeah.
wonderful mind of ADHD. It's just, I know she's done it. I said I was going to go back and find it, but I'm just like, I don't want to scroll. So, to wrap it all up, we have established that now you understand we look like this. We are together. We are LGBTQ. You know a little bit of our background, even though I never talked about any of my background. I'll do that next time, I promise. But we want to wrap this up with saying, introducing our nicknames for each other and just a little bit more of, I guess, future uh, dos domesticity. I don't even know how you say that name, but the domestic part of the just a little bit of I can never, guys, I'm an English major and I can't even say some words, so yeah, bear with me. But we just want to wrap it up before I get called for dinner or whatever, and just open up the floor to talk about stuff before we just leave permanently. uh I guess I can have Elle start. I always have her
Let
start.
me start again.
Oh,
Um,
because I'm so
about our
awkward with
nicknames.
starting these things. I don't know how to begin.
About our nicknames. I don't know. T-Doc. We started calling each other T-Doc very early on.
Oh yes, that's true. Because of what we like, of Thai culture and BL, we just and my
Just
love
means
of
my
learning
love.
languages is we just started calling each other Tirak. And for all of my listeners out there, Tirak can translate into a lot of things, but
Darling,
mainly
my
it's
love.
no my love. Mainly it's used as darling, but we just
It's a
we want to roll
significant
with it.
other.
Yeah. We also call each other
Mm,
my love at time. Well, she always calls me my love, so it's so Victorian-esque time frame. I love it.
yeah.
And
I'm a
then
hopeless romantic, and I write a lot of stories. A lot of
she's an
fantasy
amazing
stories,
writer, by the
so
way. Yeah.
we'll go into that later.
Yes, we'll go on that later. But she, speaking of being an amazing writer, she literally wrote a fan fiction of us, of our metaphoric meeting, and lo and behold, it actually happened. Even though whatever she wrote, I remember, but whatever she wrote, it didn't exactly come true like that, but it mostly came
It's
true. So
very
we
similar
have,
to us.
so we also run by our fanfic names too. I think she named me Ace in her story, so I'm her Ace, and
And
she
I'm
is
Erewhon.
Erawan. Yes,
Erewhon.
and yeah.
The background story behind that is I do in my Discord server, I do a playwright contest every year. And last year, like I think our theme was
I forgot about
it
last
was a
year's.
song. It was a music one. It was a music one. We all had got a song, and
Oh yeah, I
I
loved
got
that.
Sabaidee from Chai.
Yes, and that's how our name
That was
came
kind of where
true.
Sabaidee, yeah, that was where
Sabaidee.
Sabaidee.
It's a song.
That was the name of the like the script that I wrote too. I named it Sub ID because that was the name of the song. That was the song I picked. And so I picked Sub ID and I wrote a story up from it was like a blog.
Yes,
So it
block
was like
style.
one character. I cast because we had to what we had to do is we had to write, use the prompt, write the script and cast the characters. And so I had picked Kao Tung for Erdogan for my character because he's one of my favorites. And then I picked Jimmy Jirata. That's not right. I don't
Tirat,
remember his legal name.
Tirtapol. Jimmy Tirtapol. There we go.
Yes, Dr. Jimmy. Everybody knows Dr.
Yes,
Jimmy
Dr. Jimmy from
because
GMMTV.
Jimmy C is like one of your favorite couples.
Yes, it is.
So I picked one part from each of our favorite couples
Hmm.
and to represent us. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was like Cao Tung's character Erdogan was a blog writer, and I think it was like, can you be so, or it's like, can you fall in love with someone you've never even met? I think is how I
That was
started
the
it off.
tagline that hooked me right in. Yes.
Yep. And then it went along through like a couple of blog posts, and it kind of talked. It was like our story,
Yeah.
and so it's just kind of a little bit. Of course, I changed a couple of things, but I mainly kept like the meat and potatoes of it. I really just kind of like gender swapped this.
That is true.
But yeah, I wanted to make sure it was still A and E names, so I named her Ace, and then I was Erdogan, and then I guess Jimmy was Ace, and Kaltak was Erdogan, and it was the whole thing. And then like I think there's like 3 blog posts together, and then another one was about like, can you be soulmates with someone you've never met? And
Yeah,
then it
around the
was
same. Yep.
yeah, something like that. And then like the final one, I don't remember exactly what it all was. Maybe that was the fall in love one.
Like
And
it,
then
yeah,
it
I
like
think
progressed.
yeah.
And then like the final one was them about to meet. He was like doing the blog, like writing it just like as he was in the airport as they were waiting to meet up together. So
Yeah. It was such a
yeah,
cute point of view.
it
And
was. I like that one a lot.
when we open up our in-person meet, you'll closely see the tie of that story and us, which is so cute. But then
I
it
love
kind of
it.
it turned into a little bit of a K-drama moment, really, honestly, because I'd like to dub it as the crash landing on you meeting. Because we met on the bridge. I was looking for you, you were looking for me, but you went to go buy snacks or something. And then you were coming in the other way, and I was like, what in the crash landing on you? So yes, we will
I think
delve deeper in that.
I think we were just walking down the whole length of the bridge,
Oh, yes, yes,
something
that.
like that. But yeah,
I don't know.
that's
They
fun.
told me you guys went to go get food, so
He was wrong.
okay. Um, but yes, oh yes. So that's our little spiel. But yes, going
Yeah.
also back to the nicknames. Yeah, we toggled between Tirak and my love for a little bit until we actually set foot in actual nicknames, which as a disclaimer, of course, I told this to all my friends, is that it's the nickname I have for her, unfortunately, has a couple derogatory tags to it. So, but then to us, like she didn't mind, I didn't mind, and it was only our thing. And so that's why I said that even in my own social media, I said that only we can use it amongst ourselves. And if it was anybody else calling each other, like calling her that, I mean, not only would other people be offended and that she wouldn't like it, because it would sound different coming from another person, first of all. But I know it's another nicer term to call someone who's a bit bigger, but we just went to again, we went to roll with these nicknames. And so I call her, well, I toggle between Sunflower, Sun, and Fluffy. But now I just stick with Fluffy. Why I call her Sunflower and Sun, even though they are of the same thing, Sunflower is one of my favorite flowers, even though I'm allergic to flowers. But sunflower, I there was a meaning behind it where as we know of sunflowers, they always constantly need sunlight, and they will not stop searching for sunlight even in the darkness. You kind of know where I'm going with this. I'm kind of quoting Last Twilight, but like it's true in terms of flower language is that sunflowers need to grow in like very very strong sunlight for it to open very very big. So that's why I call her my sunflower. And then sun, along with being Ace and Erwan, we are also the true love story of Sun and Moon. I'm her moon, she's my sun. And I even asked her why. I was like, "Oh, why do you think I'm the moon?" And then we're so into like psychology and uh things about personality vibe, is that she says that I give off the vibe of a moon, which when you see a moon, whether it's crescent shaped or a full moon, is that we know that moon light and the moon in general, they emit a mysterious aura. and they shine the brightest when it's very, very dark outside. And so that's kind of how she sees me. So that was a very cute description when she told me, and I was like, oh, okay. So in a way, I'm kind of like a female werewolf. um,
Not quite.
not really. And then for her being my son, my son, dad jokes.
SUN.
Yeah, is that all of my friends here in where I reside in Canada, they always say that I radiate sun energy because I'm so positive, happy-go-lucky, like an Energizer bunny. But honestly, really, no, she is my sun instead because she has a lot more energy than I ever have. And that she, to me, it shines very bright, and she's very warm, positive, giggly, and like I said, like everybody also uh agrees, I think the jury will agree, is that she sounds just like a Disney princess. I guarantee you there's so many people that can vouch for me that they agree. And I can dive into this for another time because she also has a theater background. So it all makes sense. So that's I think that's all of the nicknames. Oh,
I have my
and
script.
and she has so if anybody doesn't know, she recently
Oh.
it blurred. Oh no, because you're not. Oh,
Aw. It's
you
because
can
I'm
see a
more
little
facing.
bit.
There we go.
Yeah, that's her
Oh, it's probably
highlighted.
backwards too. Tracy Turnblad, that's
She
me,
is.
baby.
She recently auditioned to be in the Hairspray musical, and she landed the role of Tracy Turnblad, and I cannot imagine anyone else taking on that role. And with her strong theater background of 10 decades plus ish,
Yeah, like
she
I mean,
I can
I've been doing plays like drama stuff since like elementary school.
there you have it.
So it's
There you have it,
been like
folks.
I mean, like the earliest I can remember is probably like first grade.
Well,
So
she
like
has a
it's been, almost 20 years.
okay,
No,
2 decades,
almost 30 years.
yeah,
Almost
three
30
decades.
years.
So she has a lot more experience than I ever will because with my background, I come from church as well, but I like to call myself a choir kid because I come from children's choir. I'm not a believer like she is, but it, in order for me to join, I had to be converted, as sucky as it sounds, because I just wanted to sing. But anyway, she has a lot more experience than I ever will. I didn't start until maybe a little bit later within my elementary school career. You started in grade 1. I started in grade 5, 4, 3, something like that. But anyways, we come from I come from a musical experience. She comes from a theater experience. But we still both sing. So we like singing.
Yay!
Yay! And she got a dance too, which is kind of tiring, but she likes it. So
Yeah.
everybody wish her luck for Hairspray musical. Woo! Da, 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 da.
I
Okay,
gotta be off book in a month. Yay. Okay, no,
she's gonna
I have till May 3rd to be off book.
isn't
Also not
that
gonna show it.
isn't it's oh my gosh. Isn't
I,
May 3rd also the next Prince that's coming out?
yes. Oh, damn.
Oh, oh, she's gonna miss that.
I have rehearsal that day.
So if anybody
Oh
knows
no,
what
I don't have rehearsal that day. I
oh,
don't have
okay.
rehearsal that
Well,
day.
I mean, but you gotta be
Gotta be off book.
she
Dang it.
we both have memorization problems, but she can do it. But then what we were talking
Um,
about is a new series finally set to air, and we were waiting for this for so long.
so
But she gonna be busy,
long.
even if she doesn't
Yeah.
have rehearsals. But she gonna be busy.
I'm not gonna have time for anything.
So yeah. But yes. Oh yeah. So going back, now it's your turn for the nickname thing. Yay.
Yeah. You pretty much covered like the rest of our nicknames. But yeah, I was like
True.
definitely like the sun and moon dynamic.
Yes.
But the name I picked for you, I don't know, it's just kind of stuck for me. Um, I just love it so much. It's Juby.
Is Juby, and for all of
Juby.
our listeners, Juby is Thai for is
Well,
it comes from
Jup.
Joop joop.
Joop,
It comes from
joop,
joop
joop
joop.
is Thai for
Yeah.
kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she just put the I at the end to make it sound cute. And so my other alternative that I made my
Actually, Cao Tung put the I at the end. It
oh
it
yeah,
came from. It was a scene from Our Sky 2. It
Eclipse,
was
yes.
yeah, it was the Eclipse episodes of Our Sky 2 when Ak and Ian are kind of, fighting, but then they,
Made up.
yeah,
And
I is kind of like kiss kiss. He's like choopy 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 choopy, and I was like choopy. That's it. That's the name.
it rung in her brain. It's just like
I
I'm
was just
running
like,
with
that's
it.
it. I just think it's cute because I love that scene. It's so cute between the two of them. I was like, that's it. Choopy choopy
Juby
choopy
Juby,
choopy.
yes. And then from Juby Juby, I had an alternative that sometimes I'd like to shorten it just for the heck of it, and then I just call myself B. And I found
Eee.
B. Where did I get B? Is from Your Sky series. Again, is not that one. It's another one. It's a DMD production called Your Sky series, and the second lead couple, the second lead couple won my heart, and his future boyfriend in that show ends up calling him B. So I was like
Oh,
B.
see, I haven't
And
watched that one yet.
I didn't
But
watch it.
I always just say BB,
Oh,
BB like
BB.
baby,
Yes,
BB,
they also call that too. Yes.
and Babe.
Oh yeah, because I have a Chinese background, and she's very well versed in Cantonese or Chinese, and I see that she
No,
types.
that's literally the only thing I know.
Well, still score
But I
points.
use it all the time.
Yes, she uses it all the time, along with a lot of others. And so I just find it really cute. And I was like, thank God I know how to read some words. So yay. Yeah, she likes to type it in Chinese and
Yay.
says "I love you, baby" in Chinese typing, and I was just like, oh yay.
I have it saved in a file, so I just copy and paste it.
Okay, it's okay. So that's me with Thai. That's me with Thai. T-Dax.
I have it in the same file with all my Thai phrases too.
Send me some. Send me some. I know we have a little cheat
I'll
sheet, you
send you my
guys.
whole list. I'm so bad.
I
I'm
know.
learning Thai. I know a couple of words. I can't type it. I can't type it to save my life.
I know, right?
Even though my phone has a Thai keyboard, like I put a Thai keyboard on it, I'm like, eh.
I know I can't. I scrapped the Thai keyboard because I'm like, hell no. See, I'm very good at auditory. I just realized for languages, but I can't read and write for my life unless it's Korean
Mhm.
because I actually went to school for it. But if I'm not formally put in school to learn a language, I'm only ever gonna pick it up auditorily. That's it.
All right, pop quiz
Oh dear God.
without revealing it. What does that say?
Oh, you want me to read it? Oh, her fan, Jongho.
Yes!
Yeah, that's her AT's fan, you guys.
This was a there it goes. Now you can see it.
Yeah,
This was
AT
a freebie.
Jongho.
This was a freebie when I went and saw them in Chicago last year. That
Oh
was a freebie, and I
yeah.
was like, okay.
Nice.
So I mean, there was the 18. He just like painted it on there. It's really
Oh,
cute.
nice. That's like what
So it's
Hongjun
like,
did too. Hongjun literally decorated the fan by himself, I think he said. And then he
aw,
bought it on stage to use it. And both sides were different. And I was like, damn.
that's cool.
Right.
But yeah,
So yes, you'll get to
good
know about
job,
our
T.
yay. You'll get to know our other hyperfixations later, how especially me and her, how we transformed from K-pop and into Thai BL. And it's a little bit easier for us because we're mature fans. We know the fandoms, the vibes and sasaengs and stuff. It's the same across the globe, but it's just different hyperfixation, but it's all the same. And so maybe the next time we get on, it'll be another yet chaotic roller coaster ride of what we like. Um, but I think to wrap it up, mm, what do you think? Should we open the floor for a Q&A for our listeners so that we actually have questions to answer for next
Yeah,
time?
yeah. I mean, if anybody has any questions about anything, let me know.
Yeah, any
Let us know.
questions? Canadian fans, American fans, or any statements what you guys liked, what you didn't like. Like, give us something to talk about, guys. Oops,
Sorry,
what happened?
I dropped my cube.
Oh, oh my God, that's so cute. It's a
This is my
malleable.
Nido.
It's a, like yeah, it's a malleable little. That is
It's
so
a
friggin' cute.
fidget cube.
Oh
I
yeah,
had to
what?
get one. My
Oh
friend
my,
has one,
oh my
and
God.
it's a Nido. I love it. You squish it and you squish it and you squish it, and then it just like it goes back to its like square shape, his cube shape.
Oh
Like,
my God, that's
mhm.
genius.
I love it. I have my entire bag of fidgets next to me. I am a fidgeter, so I have an entire bag of fidgets.
And I've seen that bag in person. Goddamn,
Yes,
that's a
you
lot.
can't see it because of the background blur. There,
I need
I
to
have a lot.
get myself a transparent backpack just cause for the sake of concert need, cause like they need
I
to
got
store
mine at Hobby
everything.
Lobby. This is one of my fidgets.
Ooh, fun.
The little aliens and stars,
Aliens.
and they glow in the dark.
Ooh, that's something I didn't know.
They're very satisfying. I like because the stars and the aliens are a little bit harder, so I like to pinch them and just like squish them.
I'm
Sorry,
surprised it
I
doesn't
love
pop
fidgets.
off. Like it doesn't like break pop like if you do that.
I think it's just enough give that it doesn't. I have so many.
Mm.
I have so many of these, like the poppet balls.
She gifted me some stuff. I have
I
it right
did.
here. She
Your
gifted
bike
me
chain one?
the bike chain one. Ooh, I literally took
Oh,
it
I
from
have another
her
ball.
before we separated. Yeah, we I took it away from her and she's like, "You can keep it," because it was in her car the entire week I was there.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be dried, but like I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is what she
Oh, the goo.
gifted me.
Yeah, I got
The
mine too.
goo game thing. And then yee, and then
I have so many of these. It's not even funny.
I know,
Like
right?
this isn't even. Honestly, I think I have another one too. Like look at this. Like I have so many.
Oh,
I
she
love
got the
these
red
things.
one.
I know this one needs to add more water. It's
I
kind of. But this
know.
one I had in my car for a little bit, so I think it kind of evaporated some of the water.
Oh,
I
this
just
is the
haven't
bike
refilled it.
thing that she was talking about. I literally, she's like, "You
Yeah,
can
I
have
don't
it."
have mine on me. I think mine is in my purse,
Oh,
so I don't have my bike chain on me.
oh my God! Speaking of her
Or bike.
purse, she cried because her first cow tongue thing broke off when she was in the supermarket and it was never to be found.
Oh yeah. I'm so upset. It wasn't even so I have key I don't think I have any on me. So I have keychains that they're like ID badge tags and
Ooh.
they're like clear on both sides and they're like sealed with like a black ring around them and they like I had first and Tongue in one that were just like on my keychain. It was individual photo cards of them and they're nice photo cards. They're like credit card like
Format.
texture. Yeah, they're very thick photo cards. So I had first and Gauteng on my bag, and then apparently it popped out, and first fell out. Gauteng is still there, but first fell out, and I'm very sad.
And then first is probably like, "No, my boyfriend is gone." But
This is this
yeah.
is so weird in the blur. Look at that. It's so
We're just
weird. Look
being
at it.
weird now, guys. We don't know how to wrap it up properly.
I
And we're
know.
trying
This
to
is
like
oh
entertain you guys for the next 40 minutes.
my fidget pet. Oh, it blurred him. Does that help?
You can turn off the blur now if we're comfortable so that things would
Bleh,
show.
bleh, bleh, bleh,
Why do
bleh,
I feel like that's like a little
bleh.
lizard thing?
It is. It's a chameleon.
Oh my God.
It's a fidget pet. His eyes go and like he's got like a stretchy tail and
Oh,
his
that's
tongue goes
cute.
blip 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 blip. It's cute. I want more. I need more fidget pets
Yeah,
because
she
they're
does.
adorable. And then I have some I have these. I think I got these at Pride Fest. There's little fidget spinners, like soccer ball spinners.
Nice.
I just keep them in my bag. I have so many fidgets in this bag. And then I have a bunch of like little poppets. These ones are really faded because I had them in the pool at work.
You actually dropped
So
them in the pool for the kids to play
yeah,
with?
yeah, like well, I had them like for kids that were very sad.
Oh.
They really liked some of the poppers, especially like the frogs. So they're really faded.
Oh.
And
The
then I think
things
the
that
rest.
she does for her children, guys.
Oh, and then I have a star.
Hey! Nice. I think I had those back in school. They had one and
I have
they're
so
like,
many of them.
I know. How much
But yeah.
how much was your transparent bag at Hobby Lobby? If you
It's like less
remember.
than $10. I want to say it was like 7. It was not expensive at all. I think I got this. I don't remember what show I had that got that one for.
Oh my gosh. Can you ship
But
me one? I highly doubt Toronto
maybe
has
may
any.
have to.
Because I highly doubt it's a seasonal buy. Because I'm like, everybody needs backpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
I
has
think
two.
Walmart even had some. I think
Oh
was that
yeah.
all my fidgets? I think I put them all away. Oh no, I missed a ball. I have
Yeah.
so many. I have so many of these poppy balls. Like these are all for like freebie balls.
Oh my gosh, freebie
This
boost.
one is
Yeah, her
this one
luck
is
is
swim outlet.
ooh.
That was from swim conference. I don't know what this one's from. This one doesn't have any labeling on it.
Oh.
But it's just
It
probably
reminds
another
me of
freebie I
it
got.
it reminds me of like biology class. Like it looks like a friggin'
Yeah.
bacteria
This
thing.
one is from Group Quit. I'm not sure what it was. This was also from like a not a conference, but like a booth. It's like freebie things. And I have more. They're just not in this bag.
So yes,
I
her
love my
collection is forever growing.
yes. I love my fidgets. And I'm going on a trip this weekend. So I will be taking my fidget bag with me because I
She's
need
gonna go see
fidgets.
some pandas.
Yeah. No, not really.
Oh,
I'm gonna go eat lots of good Asian food.
oh,
Going to
oh!
Panda
Is that
Fest.
what Panda Fest is? I
Yeah,
thought you
that's
were
what
gonna.
Panda Fest is.
I,
I wish we were going to see pandas.
I literally, for the longest time, I thought she was gonna go see pandas, guys.
No, it's like the largest like Asian food fest.
Oh, she's gonna
So
have fun in that.
yeah.
She's gonna have
Oh, I'm
fun with that.
so excited. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. I'm going with some friends from work, and we decided that we're going to buy one dish and split it between all of us so we don't get like too full eating a whole dish.
Family style is forever the best. Sharing is caring.
I'm ready.
She froze again. No. Well, I think that's the top. Wait. Let me see if I can just do this. Stop the video and then have her come back. Well, let's mute her. Give it some time to reset. But I think this literally tells us that the end is near because she froze. Um, I guess we'll wrap it up here. And if you enjoyed seeing her, you enjoyed seeing me, and you thought that we were a great bunch and we match our each other's energy, please drop some suggestions on the chat. Ask us some questions. We might do a Q&A next time. But my dear listeners, it's that time to say goodbye again.
Oh, I'm
And
back.
she just came back because I literally resetted her entire system. But I was just gonna say to wrap
It's
it
probably a good
up.
time to wrap it
Wrap
up.
it up.
Yep.
Her freezing is totally like, yeah, there's 10 minutes on the clock. It's time to wrap up. Even Zoom is like, let's go,
Yep.
let's go, let's go.
10 minutes
So
again. We've been talking for 30 more minutes. I thought we were supposed to wrap this up.
I know we just again, we are so
We
sorry
hopped on just to
to
wrap it again.
yeah, we just kept talking and we're like probably ruining your brains. We are so sorry. But this is not our intention. But as I was saying, we're probably gonna be talking more after this. But
Yes.
our
I
dear
feel like we need
listeners,
to I feel like eventually we need to move this over to Twitch so we can just talk and talk and talk and talk
I
and talk and talk.
know, talk or at Twitch or Discord, just like no time limit. We just talk, 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 talk. We just yap.
Hey,
We're yappers.
at Twitch we can have people come join us. I mean, I
Can
guess
we
we could
actually
too.
do that? Like, can we do what
Well, I
Peter
mean, you
and
can
Becky?
stream. At least we'd have like the stream chat. Yeah,
We should
have
do that.
stream
Speaking
chat.
of
People
Peter
just
and
hang out.
Techie, if you guys are familiar with who that is, this is where she got the idea of the podcast thing because these two guys are doing it. So she was thinking, hey, let's do a podcast like they are. And that's how this started. This is how
I just
Sabaidee
I
A&E
really
began.
liked their format, and I love a good podcast. So I was like, you know what?
Right?
It'd be fun if we did a podcast together.
I think we should make it a thing whenever we're free. We just dock it off on a Sunday or a Monday because they do Mondays and you don't have work on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's open on Sunday on unless you go to temple, you go eat. But like we're open Sundays and Mondays, so we should make it a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the idea. This is why Sabaidee A&E is born. It's all because of Peter and Techie. Shout out to you boys. Thank
One of
you.
the inspirations.
Yes, one of many. So, anyways,
I
little
I think
more.
it'll be fun for us to do together.
Yeah, and it's a way for us to bond because we're so far apart. But yes, before I forget, my dear listeners, it's that time to say goodbye. I hope today's tea warmed your stomach, although it's a little bit different today, and satisfied your appetite. As always, I'm your host, Ash, and I hope to see you again at the CSA Cafe. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.